Good evening, parents and students. We are now with Mr. Alex, International Department of Gomel State Medical University. He has come long way from Gomel State Medical University to Hyderabad to Medico Abroad. Now we would like to know about the situation of our Indian students in Gomel State Medical University. In Gomel State Medical University, since 2004, we are sending, Medico Abroad is sending a lot of students, and then till now, presently there are more than 400 medical students over there in Gomel State Medical University. Since 2002 February, when the Ukraine war broke, Russia and Ukraine, the situation over there is all over the world. They are thinking about the war, and then there is a lot of impact on the countries which are bordering Ukraine and Russia. Belarus is the country which is having the borders with Ukraine and Russia. So a lot of parents are having different opinions, and the media is giving the different scenarios about the situations of the war. And the yellow journalism and the different channels are focusing different news about the Belarus involvement in war and peace, and some different opinions and different non-ethical and non-moral, and we can say that false information regarding the war situation. To know the reality about the war situation and the reality about the situation in Belarus, what is the participation of Belarus in this war? Do the Belarus is having any impact, or does the Belarus involve in any war situations or war atmosphere, or what is the situation really with the Indian students who are studying in Gomel and other universities in Belarus? We would like to know from Mr. Aleksandr of International Department of Gomel State Medical University. Mr. Aleksandr, welcome to Hyderabad, welcome to Medico Abroad. We are very happy to see you in India, and can you please explain the situation to give a real picture of the situation of Gomel State Medical University and the students, and how the students are living over there, and any impact on their studies, any impact on their social life, any impact on their cultural life, and then is there any difference between the before February and after February when the war broke over between Russia and Ukraine? Can you please give us the clarity about it?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rajram, for inviting me. It's been a very welcome from your side. I also welcome you, our potential student, and I would like to tell you and assure you that Belarus is not a part in this conflict. Belarus takes absolutely no participation in any army conflicts whatsoever. I would like to remind you that Belarus is the only country that initiated peace negotiations between our two neighboring countries that are involved in this conflict. Right now, there is absolutely none indication of conflict in the streets of our city, Gomel, in any streets on any city and town of my country, Belarus. If you go on the street, you will see hundreds of people walking, children having a walk with their parents, children going to school, students going to classes, and there is absolutely none indication of a conflict. Unfortunately, we have been faced with a very bad media publicity from some of the newspapers and TV shows telling some untrue things about our country. And I want to assure you that these media things have absolutely none relation to the reality itself. And Belarus is a peaceful country, and there is absolutely none indication of conflict on the war activity in our streets. Our university has not stopped any classes. We continue our education even in the COVID period, and even now our study process goes on. So I want to assure you there is absolutely nothing to be feared about.
So what about, you are saying that, Belarus is a peace country and a peace-loving country, and then I have listened about so many peace talks has happened between Russia and Ukraine in Gomel. Is it true?
Yes, there have been peace talks, but not in Gomel. They've been done on the territory of Belarus. Yes, and Belarus is the only country who at least managed to
Bring together
to
the
bring
Russia and
together
Ukraine.
these two conflict parties. Yes, it is the only country. who did
Yeah.
it.
And then what about, you were just, when we are talking together, you discussing and you said that Belarus is open to the Ukrainian students for the education, and then you have given a lot of sanctions for them, and then you have given sort of eligibilities, and then some other things, whatever. Can you please explain more?
Yes, Belarus has very strong effect and impact towards Ukrainian citizens. We opened our borders to the refugees, and a lot of them have already entered our country. And we, by the decree of our government, we even offer education for the students from Ukraine, and they can apply to the universities even if they don't have the original of the documents. And that is the indication to show that we are not part of this conflict. We are trying to help everyone, and we want only peace.
So Mr. Aleksandr is saying that he's telling that the Belarusian government has given a provision of getting the students who are studying, the Ukrainian students who are studying in Ukraine, if they want to have a transfer without any documents, they are taking the students in the Belarusian universities and helping them for further studies, so that their life and then education and the career won't be stopped. In this way, they are helping the Belarusian government. At the same time, can you please tell me that is there any army involvement of Belarus Army towards against Ukraine or something like that, or against Russia? Do you have any such things? It is been noticed in the English media, in BBC and all, saying that Belarus is participating in the war and all. Can you clarify about this?
No, there is nothing to clarify, because Belarusian army is not does not take any action in any kind of conflict whatsoever. Belarus has its army, and this army is based on the territory of Belarus, and that's all. It takes absolutely non-activity in any kind of conflict.
So you are saying that the children are going to the schools, and then the students are going to their colleges and then universities normally. Do we find any army tanks or some army air force is in the city or something like that? There is one question, and second thing we would like to know, in the supermarkets and all, do the normal citizens find all the products, the fruits and vegetables, in a normal way, or is there any deficit in the city? That for the products, for the daily used oil, food items and vegetables, is there any crisis in the cities, or about the first question is about the army presence in the cities, and the second question is about the crisis of food items in the city. Can you please answer that?
Yes, of course. When you go out on the street, you can see no indication of any army or any military activity on the streets at all. There are no tanks, there are no warplanes, nothing. If you go to the nearest shop, you can see the same variety of goods that you could find maybe 6 or a year ago. It hasn't changed, and there is no shortage of any products whatsoever. Unfortunately, this image that we can see about Belarus is done by media, not so fair media campaign. The reality is completely different.
Yeah. Can you please tell me about that, in any country, for example, if something is going wrong, or some, army is overcoming, or is a war situation, or any, for example, you can say that epidemic or something like that, the Indian embassy, any embassy over there indicates the wrong signals to the their own citizens,
Mhm.
and then they immediately pull their citizens and take back to the country and all, which has happened in Ukraine. The
Mhm.
Indian government has taken the Indian students, lifted them all from the Ukraine to India. So in such way, do you have any communication with the Indian embassy in Minsk, and are they what is their view about the situation?
No, them, as I know for now, the Indian embassy did not give any kind of recommendation to its citizens to leave Belarus. And we are in close contact with the Indian embassy. They are always welcomed in our university, and they have visited it sometimes even twice a year to celebrate some Indian holidays and to meet with the students. And they have a full support of university, and Indian students have the full support of the Indian embassy. And right now they fully encourage and welcome the coming of Indian citizens to our university.
So when was the last visit of the ambassador to Gomel?
Indian embassy visited our university in August 2022, and together with very beautiful dancing company that gave a performance with traditional Indian dances, which was a very huge success among our viewers, students, and just visitors to our university.
That's a great win. Mr. Aleksandr is saying that the Indian embassy has come with a troupe of Indian cultural dance,
Yes.
And then they have done a program in in Gomel State Medical University in August 2022, and then the Indian embassy is totally saying that it is a safe, and then there is no conflict of war in Belarus, and then Belarus is not involving in war situations with Russia or Ukraine. They are instead helping the refugees, at the same time helping them with educational situation of the students who can transfer their degrees, or without any documents also, if the students come, the prospective students can continue their education in Belarus. That is what situation. Can you please give in the last question, what is the safety of Indian students, the girl students and the boy students in Gomel State Medical University campus and outside in these situations?
Belarus has the lowest crime index all over Europe. There are no such things as bad district and you shouldn't come there. There is no such thing at all in our city. We have all districts in all the cities of Belarus are good. You can have a walk in the evening, and you will find absolutely no criminal activity at all. Mm-hmm.
What about in the hostels? Do you have any security for the students over there? How the hostel has been managed, and what is production force they have in hostel?
There are security protocols for hostel, and only the representative of the university administration and the students living in the hostel can enter it, because there is like a security system at the entrance, and only people who do not live in the hostel can visit, only presenting special document. So the hostel is absolutely safe, and we have never had a case of any criminal activity inside the hostel. More than that, several weeks ago we celebrated a Diwali with our Indian students inside the hostel, and it was like a very marvelous activity.
Yeah. What is your impression of Indian visit? How do you feel visiting Taj Mahal, Delhi and Hyderabad? Can you please share with our viewers?
It's been a very illuminating visit, because every time when you visit the country that you have students from, you start to understand students better, and you feel their culture, and you understand students more. And I should tell you that practically all our administration who deals with and works with international students have visited India, so we know this culture, we know your country, we know your culture, we understand it, we appreciate it, and we will be very welcomed to see new students in our university.
What is your impression of seeing Taj Mahal, having seen first time I think you have seen Taj Mahal?
Yes, Taj Mahal has left the deepest impression on me. It's a magnificent piece of architecture and I was greatly impressed. But frankly speaking, I was more impressed by Indian people surrounded by me. So they're so colorful, so exotic, and it really is a real treasure of your nation, are your people.
Yeah, the lastly I would like to ask you, this is your first visit to our Medico Abroad. So how do you feel about the Medico Abroad? And we have gone through all the processes of, we have showed you our system of enrolling the students from the beginning to the end. And then do you have any suggestions and what is your impression regarding the Medico Abroad?
My impression is that Medico Abroad is one of the best agencies that we have been working. The procedure of enrollment students is really great. It's greatly detailed, and this goal is really to support the student not only on the initial process of the enrollment, but through the whole years of the study. It is the only company that provides this kind of maintenance. And the only suggestion that I have is that the symbol of the company is this triangle, where the agency works closely with the university and with the parents. And the only suggestion is let's bring this, make this triangle
more stronger and stronger.
Yes, narrower. That this connection should become even more. So we are always engaged in this process, and we are ready to be engaged even more.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you very much for coming to India.
Thank you.
And then I wish you good luck and then good time in India, sir.
Thank you.
Medico Abroad 9959 114545.